I mean,
Live
she
streaming is on.
all she had to do was to show up 3 hours per week, and now she would already get $400.
Exactly. So basically, she has done zero work, in my opinion, and she's been late to basically every meeting. And so Jay sent an email. I think you were CC'd into it, the partner's email about stopping her upfront pay and such. But she's unable, yeah, to do it. But I thought we were quite generous, and I told Jay at the beginning of the meeting, my friend, we're just doing this to help her with her life, to not be homeless, basically. But basically, he's put in $3,000 and more than that, and maybe 100 hours of support, and then I put in 30 hours, maybe. And then Jay at least 10 hours pro, like at this point, kind of pro bono and money. And so, I mean, there's only so much we can do. And I liked your first email to her where you're like, you have to do the work, you know, you have to put in some effort. So, yeah.
No, but I mean, I really there's something that I'm missing because you're passing through such a difficult situation, and seriously, I mean, you don't you are online. You just need to show up 1 hour. You can also be silent for 1 hour and a half, like a lot of our workers are when we are in this session. We just do the work, and possibly they help when they can. But I mean, and you get $400 like this, and also you get into a reality that's, I mean, it's about to boom and everything. And I mean, she, because when I did the onboarding with her, uh, she seems very capable, very intelligent, very. So I don't know. I mean,
What
human
you're
beings
not
are
seeing
complicated.
is like her mental health. She like maybe the first several calls, like she's in tears, you know? And so basically, she's just very emotional, and I believe has mental health issues at the moment as well too, because it's quite easy. I even updated her resume for her. I think it's a 5-minute fix, and it's taken her more than a month now to make this change. And she knows how urgent it is to get employment, you know. And this is a step for her. And
Yeah,
so,
but
I mean, she's very,
realistically, so, I mean, if you're not even able to, I mean, we are like we don't force you to work or anything, right? As I said, you can come to the session, stay silent for 1 hour and a half, just say, all right, I'm here, and stay basically silent, and we pay you, right? So
yeah,
I mean, and we are completely, I mean, we give you all the support, and we, so if she couldn't even do that with us in 1 month now, I think it's even, I think Thursday is going to be 1 month when we approved her temporary hire. I need to check, but I mean, what's realistically the chance that like a normal business will hire her? I don't see how this is possible.
well,
Well,
David and I were exploring dog walking, like just any job, you know, like you can work at McDonald's or just some type of any job, really. But really, I think that we were more than generous with SVGs, just paying her for attendance, and she can't do that, you know? So it's basically, yeah, um,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
oh, Alberto, do you want to go first?
no, Jay, please.
I just wanted to say two things, right? One
Yeah.
is that, obviously there's a lot more going on, and that's where it's kind of frustrating for me. I mean, we worked really hard to try to get the life support program happen, and she obviously was not interested in it, and she needs it more than anybody. And so
Right.
that's her fault. That's her loss. I do feel like we as a team should be prioritizing the life support and making sure it happens, which we're not, which is also a problem. But either way, like she needs a lot more support on all these different things, including the health side of it and in the budget and everything. So we finally did the budget. It comes out at $3,000 a month. Like I don't see any possible way that she can live in her current state without $3,000 a month. So what that means is two things. One, that she needs a job that pays her at least $3,000 a month. Otherwise, it's really not worth it, right? Maybe 2,500 at minimum, right? Like if you're only going to make like less than that, it's just really not feasible to help her in the situation that she's in.
Wait,
So that,
quickly, the budget that David created, her personal budget, is that what
yeah,
you're talking about? Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, her personal budget, $3,000 a month is what she needs. So for me, it's like on the health side, we could definitely help her with that. I mean, the thing that kind of we haven't had a meeting, Mel, with me, you, and David since the call about the car, and everything fell apart after that. I mean, it was basically obvious. Like all of us were just like jaw dropped the way that she talked about dealing with her situation,
Yeah.
and that it was so unsustainable that we basically lost momentum and lost our interest in moving forward with actually just directly helping her because of the conversations related to the car. And it's just mind blowing, the idea that you would hold on to a hunk of metal that you can't even use, and for sentimental reasons when you're in the situation that you're in, where you're risking losing everything, right? So it's just like that's where for me everything needs to get focused on, for her life support, is really understanding what her options are moving forward to deal with both her getting a job and her not getting a job. In the context of the money, it's like, we could have easily just said no, like we shouldn't be paying her $400 because not enough, it's not going to help, she needs 3,000. I didn't know the number of 3,000 before, but I knew like any amount of money might help her a little bit. But I think the main reason that we wanted her to get involved with FQN was actually not the money. I think it was more of the mental health and aspects of like having experience, talking to people again, getting on meetings,
Yeah.
just going through the process. So I think in that context, we were successful, in that if she does get a job, and if she is able to hold on to it, it might be because of those small amounts of time that she did spend with us that got her jump started.
Right,
So hopefully,
Alberto. That's a good point, and that makes me feel so much better that in some ways we are successful, because it's like getting her back into an online office at least again, helping her with, just having a community, not doing it alone, not feeling so overwhelmed alone, and just that was, you're right. So go ahead, Jay. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but that made me feel a lot better. Yeah.
yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's just those things. And I mean, I don't know if anything's ever going to happen with you and David again in terms of like discussing and trying to deal with the situation on the monetary side, but basically I'm fine with it just stopping. I mean, it's just not worth my time if Stacy's not willing to compromise and actually work on a system that's functional, with her finances and with her assets and like the things that she does have. So, I don't know what'll happen, but nothing ever since then, nothing moved forward. And we have done more than enough on the work side to help Stacy, which we spent a lot of time, the whole team spending time trying to support Stacy. So I think
Yeah,
we're good.
the friend David who referred her, he spent like 7 hours creating a personal budget with car, rent, scenario 1 to 5. Like, yeah, and he's very sick. So for him to do all that, and she hasn't really even responded to this budget. We found out that she has a BMW that's potentially worth 20,000. And so at that
Well,
point,
no,
and she
it's
just,
not worth
yeah,
20,000. She thinks it's worth 20,000, but that's the whole thing, is that she thinks it's worth 20,000. And if it was worth 20,000, that's the first thing she should do, is selling that car and get rid of it, right? I don't think it's worth anything, but it's just like the fact that she thinks it's 20,000, it should be on the table to get rid of it and sell it, and it's not. And
So
yeah, the thing is that like she's so overwhelmed, like the
yeah,
conversations we were having, it's like she doesn't know how to
but
prioritize or think
yeah,
clearly.
but can I make a comment, right? So
Yeah, sure.
so because I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going off topic, but I'm really uh, I mean, what's the point
already
of
off.
doing what we're doing if we don't help these kind of people, right? Because she crossed our path, and for every normal person that behaves this way, especially I don't know, Jay, that doesn't have a lot of patience for like this kind of unprofessionality, and you guys keep putting effort and stuff. It means that obviously uh, she needs help, and you're excusing or even not really getting annoyed nor uh, uh, taking serious this behavior from her, because obviously she's not well. right? She's really not well. And I don't really see, especially in the United States, that it's like a society that, I mean, I've never seen so many homeless like when I went to Miami or when I went to San Francisco or New York. So it's crazy, right? The richest country in the world, and like people are just garbage. And this Stacy, if she cannot even, if she, here in FQN, there's so much work that one of the first thing that I said to Jake, this is so amazing. I love this because you can basically, I mean, you either taking on like I did, so you need to work on everything. But I mean, you can literally decide to work on only things that you really like. You make your schedule, you make your things. It's online. You don't have to stay in front of people, so you know you have your space. So if this person, which from how you're behaving towards her, meaning you're not telling her to fuck off, but you're doing the opposite. So obviously, this person needs help, and if this person cannot even manage to work in an environment like ours, that is basically there's so much work, so many things to do. I mean, there's so many options, so many things. Also, I mean, with a good $35 per hour. So, what is the future of this person, right? What is the future of this person? Because I don't see. I mean, dog walking. It's like I call people to when I had a dog because I cannot walk my dog, but they need to come at 12 o'clock because otherwise my dog. People love their dog, so it's not something that, I mean, you need to especially respect timetable, respect appointments, respect things. So I'm really, and I don't even know her, but in general, right? So a human being that crosses our path, and like, I mean, I don't know, guys. We should maybe try to really be flexible here and tell her, look, Stacy, what do you like to do? We can give her something to do that she can also do on her own time. I don't know, but you know, because I don't see how this person can survive in any other work environment. I mean, she couldn't even do the minimum in our work environment, which is like, I don't know, it's a revolutionary, right? When do you see something like that? So I don't know. I really feel a lot for her, you know. So
I would say that going back to the mental health and the mental blocks, like there was a point at the very beginning, when we were just introducing the concept of like, oh, you're invited to a meeting, and oh, we're doing a budget together, and oh, everybody votes in the budget, and that technically means based on our policies that you can vote too. It was like that whole introduction to our work style. She was blown away. She couldn't believe it. It was like, I've never seen anything like this ever. And it's like, so you've never been involved in any sort of cooperative, you've never been involved in any sort of co-op or any sort of collaborative organization ever. Okay, so that's great, but it's
mhm.
nothing new. And she's like, this is totally new, and I've never. This is crazy. Oh my God, this work style is so different than I've ever seen before. And she got in this mental cycle that like what we were doing was so different. And she said it over and over and over again. And I mean, sure, for her it might have been different, but it's not like co-ops haven't been around for thousands or at least hundreds of years, right? So it's not like potentially unbelievable jaw dropping. It's like, yes, we function differently, but we're like 90% of businesses are the same. We're an organization, and you learn the policies of the organization because every organization is slightly different. So it could have been a mental block that she basically set up very early, where she sort of labeled us as so different that she couldn't handle our style. So I don't know if that happened, but I think it's good to mention that it's possible that, from the very beginning, it just wasn't a good fit, not because we offer such easy work, but because she mentally blocked with the team collaborative model because she had not experienced that, and she decided that it was so different from her normal things that she'd done in the past. which of course,
Honestly, I don't think that's the case because Alberto, you said we are so patient. I'm gonna say Jay's very patient, and my friend David is very patient. I was like, don't flake on this meeting. Like we are not. Like I think I made her cry several times too because and she's always like, I don't want to disappoint you. I'm like, well, you are a disappointment. So I mean, I am not. I'm very like it's for her own benefit to show up on time and meet her commitments, and it's one excuse after another, several meetings just waiting there for her to call. It's very annoying for the other person. And it's like the phone cables and then these long text
yeah.
rants and like incoherent emails. This is not professional for any office. And she did get fired from her last job, which was the 35 an hour corporate job, for being tardy, late several times. And so that was unfortunate because she can't be on time with anything. So I mean, yeah, Jay,
Well,
I
She
don't
was
know
she
if
was she was on time with me, but I mean
it's
the point is that obviously this person is not well. Her brain it's malfunctioning like big time because if you she said she has no parents, she has no family that she can ask help to, or and she is concretely facing the possibility, the risk to become homeless. And you come into an environment like ours, and the only thing that we are asking you is to schedule and prioritize to make a session, 2 sessions per week, and we were going to pay you $420, and you don't do it, right?
right.
Obviously, obviously, you're completely out of reality. Like your brain your brain obviously that does not. I mean, she's. I mean, I don't know, guys, but I mean, let's find a solution to try to help her or something. I mean,
well, I think the
because
solution is very, very clear, right? Because I think going on like this is not necessarily professional
yeah,
anyways.
no,
We'll get
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry.
not focused on what
Yeah,
we're supposed to be doing. But the
yeah.
solution for me is very, very, very clear, right? One, it's all about the life support program, the basic life necessities. If we have not addressed her basic life necessities, which includes her mental health, her physical health, her nutrition, her food intake, her life situation, her housing, like all that stuff, all has to come first, right? That is step zero in essence of the setup before you can really jump into the bigger picture stuff. So I mean, and just to cover the policies, right? As it's also good to note, and this is important for Alberto because you're not on this text thread with me and David and Mel, that technically speaking, as far as I'm concerned, Stacy followed all of the policies. And the policy is that you schedule. If you can't make the schedule, you let us know. And she let us know. She let us know on time, and at exactly 8 hour 3, she says that she said she wouldn't be able to make it, and that she was going to. She didn't say that she was going to come. She just said that she couldn't come, and that she's at this place right now where she's going through a job interview, and then the job interview lasted longer than she thought it was going to be, and then they want her to stay for a computer skills assessment. So for me, that is a very sound decision. She's at a job interview for a place they might pay her actual money to cover her bills, and she did the interview, and then after the interview, instead of being done and coming to work with us, she was requested to stay for a computer skills assessment. So unless she's totally lying, for me, all of that makes sense. She should not be coming to us to make $35 for 1 hour when she is trying to do a computer skills assessment to get a potential job that might pay her thousands of dollars a month, right? That is a sound decision, and she followed the policies by telling us on time that she wasn't going to make it, right? So as far as I'm concerned, Stacey did not mess up at all today. She followed all the policies just like anyone else. Yes, it's been 3 weeks and she did not attend a single session, and this one included, but she said she had a reason for it. I just
But
want to.
Jay, like I know that that's her reason, but I was questioning, even you were like, unless she's lying, but I'm like,
Yeah, she could
why is
definitely.
there this like big, like pretty good excuse every single time? One, I'm tired. I have the flu. Okay, a week later, I also have a cold, and then or COVID, and then another, or my friend's over, or like this person came over, and this person came
But
over. Like
why do
I
you
got to
keep
pack. There's
trying to
always
help her,
an
Mel?
excuse, huh?
But why then? I don't understand. Why do you keep trying to help her? Right? She's your high
I'm
school friend,
starving.
or I don't know.
Yeah, she said she was going to send her updated resume, which I spent hours fixing with her, 4 hours, and over a month ago. And I told her Monday is the deadline. So I
I
do like that we have a cutoff for helping her, even though we have the life support program. I think CCC and the current team that is showing up on time is more of a priority, and she can circle back with us later. I don't think that my vote would be to not help her anymore. Like
Yeah,
for
I mean,
my
Mel's basically over trying to help her, from my understanding. But I think the main reason is because Mel's just a really nice person, and you just gravitate towards helping people. And it's not just helping Stacy. This all mainly come about because of David. So David is in our sponsorship program. He doesn't have a bank account, so we don't have funds for him, but he's technically a sponsored program. And he's doesn't have a lot of time, and he's like sick, so he doesn't do a lot of work on it, but he wish he could. And Stacy is David's neighbor, and he has a lot of connection with her and dealing with this. And so part of this came out of one of our sponsored program leaders, David, who his life was affected by this, and then Mel got involved. Does that make sense, Alberto?
right. I didn't just find her and she's like my old friend or anything. It's someone who we help out in the nonprofit, and it's his neighbor.
Yeah.
Basically.
So David is the one who brought this to Mel, and that's how we all got into it. Site. So it's all about. So really, technically, our focus here is helping David. That is like the primary focus, and helping David is dealing with Stacy, because David got so overwhelmed with Stacy that he was like, "Oh my God, I can't deal with this. I need help." Does that make sense, Alberto?
Yeah, it makes perfectly sense. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just
So
don't know David, and David's another person who needs support. I would love to get David into the life support program and work with David more and work on his organization and everything. I would love to do that, but it's up to him to want to schedule. Anyways, we'll get to that eventually. I'm just kind of curious, where does the life support come in on our schedule? Oh, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Okay.
right.
So on Saturday, we're going to go over that more.
Okay, but David is amazing. He's just brilliant. He's punctual. He does computer work fine. He has perfect grammar. So I mean, at some point down the line, I want to involve him with life support, or not just life support in this program, but the SVG or anything else. He just has he can do minimum hours. If we have the budget. But yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So then, I mean, let's get focused on the work, guys. Just my final comment is that, I mean, we we don't say that we want to change the world as a joke, right? When I say it, and especially when Jay says it, we believe it totally, that we can make this world a much better place, and we have all the skills, the competencies, the background, the soul, that I have no doubt that that Jay's vision is feasible. It's realistic. So when I say that our goal is to change the world, I mean it 100%. And obviously, to change this world, you need a lot of money, and this is what we are all pushing this year. I'm sure that by the end of the year, we're gonna have an incredible budget for various sources, various things. But I mean, this is something that also brings bad luck to say it. So we just keep in our trajectories, we stick focus, we work on step by step, one thing at a time that comes up. So what I'm saying is that if we're, as we know that we are totally serious and we believe that we can change the world because we are human beings, and human beings are incredible. The miracle, our society that has created us as slaves, but we are actually beings that have powers that we cannot even comprehend, most of us. But the point is that this person that needs help has crossed our path in this moment that we are also passing through difficulties. We don't have a lot of money. We're setting everything up. So we're super focused on the work and things. But I mean, uh, changing the world starts also by helping one person at a time. And so you learn how you help person at a time. And so I don't know. I don't have a direct contact with Stacy. I don't understand the situation very well, but I definitely understand that. I definitely feel that if we don't manage to help her, I don't see this person how she can survive in a society like the United States.
That's
Like
correct.
there's no way that a person like this can survive in the United States.
I mean, she could die
So
if she goes on the streets as a female, you know, and being her
she
age.
could. I don't know. I mean, everything could happen. So, but I mean, I don't see how spending all this time to help her do the resume or try to help her find a regular job when uh, I mean we should really, as Jay said, and you're totally right, Jay, and I will we see what I can do on that. But yeah, we need to get the life support running and get the session scheduled and make sure that she comes, and because uh, I mean this person it's asking for help, right? And what's the point of changing the world if a person like this comes in our path and we just abandon her because she cannot I mean she cannot uh, respect or standards, minimum standards of professionality or anything. But obviously the issue here, you also, we cannot assess her the same way that we assess other people, because this person really needs a lot of help, and I believe that we can definitely help her for sure.
Aw, that's really
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree that we can definitely help her. And that the solution, the way that we should help her is through, getting even deeper into the policies and the systems and the methods and the methodology, and specifically in the life support program. Like for me, I feel like the main things that need to be targeted is, I mean, we already covered access to legal, check, right? So then from there, it's access to, nutrition and health, and just basic, like the basic building blocks of emotional sanity is making sure you're eating properly and that you're sleeping properly and you have your basic health, which can happen even if you're homeless, right? You can get basic life needs even if you are technically homeless or live in a tent or whatever you happen, they can happen. So then the third thing is obviously access to healthcare, which she has, and which should include making sure she's actively going to a therapist or a counselor, right?
mhm.
It's free.
Can
It's
I ask one question real quick? Because Alberto, because it looks like we're spending a little bit more time. Can I invite David to join on and just say like 5 minutes and just join us for 5 minutes? I told him, he was like, how long?
obviously not going to be 5 minutes, but it doesn't matter. If he wants to jump on, we'll just
Hi, David.
Hello.
hear it.
I just kind of texted him that we've been talking, and he's in
Oh,
this
look,
group
you can
thread.
see David. How exciting. Can I see me? I don't know if I can see me. Does that work?
Oh my goodness, you guys are doing video? Oh my god.
Well,
Oh my god.
how exciting.
I
Let
don't
me.
look good.
So, anyways, I think we're all in agreement that we want to break policy. We want to do like the double team. We're not going to focus on work right now, which is fine. So let's just keep going. So anyway,
Let's just address Stacy right now, real quick. David, before I invited him, he said, hold her hand for one more month if she's not done any work yet. And Alberto, you're not in this group thread where basically I just texted her about joining and stuff. But yeah, Alberto had some questions. He doesn't understand the Stacy situation. Now she's employed, she's working. We're a little bit behind, and we're just kind of talking a little bit about Stacy. So can you, Jay, you were saying something really good about what her needs are. And Alberto, if you have any questions about it.
David, I haven't talked to you since literally and I already went over this with Mel, the day we had the discussion with Stacy about her car. And at that point where I saw this unrealistic and completely, delusional connection to the car in relationship to an asset that I didn't think had any value, but that she feels has tons of value. But even if it had tons of value, she would never sell it, even while she's taking, thousands and thousands of dollars from other people, was mind blowing to me. And I couldn't believe it. And I just was like done, I was just like, and then nothing ever happened after that. So anyways, the list I have here for the main things that Stacy needs at this point, and Alberto has basically gone over the fact that it's been 3 weeks. She hasn't stepped up. He doesn't feel like she is, and that there's other deeper problems going on with the mental health and other things. Anyway, so the main thing Stacy needs is access to legal, check, done. Access to nutrition and health. I'm very concerned about her nutrition and health, and making sure that basically she's eating healthy and sleeping well, and all that is very key to being able to function on a mental basis. And then obviously access to healthcare, which involves scheduling with a counselor and like all of that, like counselor therapy. Like this is stuff that is just like free and she should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think probably what would be more effective than that is if she just did 3 hours of work a week and got self-confidence from doing something productive that somebody appreciates. Like I can sympathize with not wanting to see counselors because I'm chronically ill, and it's like, oh my God, going to a doctor, it's just more work, more time. It's like they're not going to do anything, right? It kind of can be more of a additional stress than a help sometimes. But yeah, obviously she's a traumatized person, with the addition of the stressful external situations right now. So she's not functioning great.
Yeah. So hello, David. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
Alberto from
Yeah.
Brazil. Yeah. So what I was saying is that before is that I don't know how familiar you are with our organization, but if a person that is obviously so much in need and cannot even, as you said perfectly, she cannot even just show up, right? Because we have like a lot of workers, like they show up, they don't say anything, they just stay there and they get paid. And our organization, there's so much work. You can also concentrate on the work that you only like, the schedule, you do your schedule. So there's infinite possibilities on how to adjust yourself in order to create the best possible work environment that fits yourself. So my point is that if a person that is so much in need, she cannot even she cannot even show up for 3 hours, 1 hour and a half per week from a laptop online, where we're not forcing her to do anything. We're not requesting her to have incredible skills or anything particularly complicated. Obviously, I don't see how this person can even, pretend that she's going to find a job or to survive in a society that is like the United States, where people are like garbage, right? So so this obviously worries me very much because I feel the pain. I feel for her. so much, because I can see that she really needs help, so much help. And also the way that you guys respond to her attitudes, obviously it shows that you don't even you might get annoyed, but I mean, you understand that there's some serious problems that this person is unfortunately affected by. So I don't know. I mean, we have this life support program, and as Jay said, I mean, I think the best thing is to just try to get this session on Saturday, have her come, and then figure out a way to just help her. I mean, also for self-driven work, we can see with her what she likes to do. She could do some work on her own, on her time, and send us the outcomes, the outputs. And I mean, I just feel very sad for her, because I don't see how she can find any job, or even, I mean, survive in this such a society that's the United States, the way that she functions, which is obviously totally broken, right? So
Yep.
yeah, so obviously, yeah, I mean, I'm very sad for this situation, and she crossed our path, and so I, as human being, really cannot close my eyes or turn my head the other way when, I mean, I don't look for these situations, of course. I mean, I look for the situation, but when these situations happen, I mean, it's difficult to not do something about it, because we can do something about it. Obviously, we cannot do everything for her. Absolutely. I mean, she also needs to put some effort, but I think that we can definitely step out from our usual professional work organizing, to really try to find a ad hoc solution for her to have some 1 hour, 2 hours of work per day or per week, that she gets accustomed, that she likes, and that she can fit into, uh, regardless of her mental problems. You know? I think we can do that. So, as Jay says, the first step is to really, and this is something that I can definitely do, is to focus on coordinating and scheduling the life support session on Saturday. But we need the help of everybody, especially you guys, to make sure that she shows up and really try to help this person, because I mean, I'm shocked. I love the United States. I've been to the United States many times, but when you tell me United States, the first thing that comes to my mind is the homeless people in Miami. Like, I was shocked when I went there. I said, how is it possible that a country that is so rich can let this happen? It's crazy, right? So, and when I think about Stacy, that image comes to my mind immediately. So yeah, I mean, check.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, like, if she doesn't function, then obviously some other kind of help is needed than job help. You know, because otherwise it's homelessness. So there'd have to be some sort of charitable thing or some homeless shelter or something. But right now, my impression is I do.
So,
I do believe.
Yeah. So, David, realistically, let's talk out of the teeth. This person, if she cannot do some, of course, we don't give free money away, especially we're on a very tight budget. But I mean, if this person, if we cannot find a way for this person to work and be productive with us,
Yep.
realistically, from what I see, I don't see any other outcome than this person being on the street. I don't know what her finances are, obviously, but obviously her brain doesn't function normally. But I mean,
So I'm going to say it's definitely a very real, distinct possibility that a month from now,
yeah,
nothing could have changed. She could be exactly not getting anything done, not getting interviews, and so forth. It's a real possibility. I do think really, I personally, I want to really believe in her still for like one more month. And I say that because in the last month,
but you
she
cannot put
had-
time frames for these situations, David. You cannot give time frames for this person. She doesn't function like you and I, right? So you cannot give a time frame.
well,
we need
the
to keep
time-
we need to keep trying to fit her in and find a way that she can be productive for us. So bring us
let me rephrase that.
outputs, right? Work outputs, right? So that we can help her because she's helping us, right? She's producing value for us, right? But I mean, you guys, you know her, so I have known her only a little bit, but I can feel the pain. I can feel the situation. This person, if we don't help her, that we have this vision, the way that we see things, the way that we organize ourselves in our work environment. If we don't help her, what do you think is going to help her? Procter and Gamble or McDonald's or especially in the United States, that you have no protection from one day to the other, you're fired and ciao. Right, so.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm not meaning to imply let's put a time frame on getting her better. I'm saying one way or another, housing is the critical thing. She probably has 2 more months in this house before getting evicted. My suggestion is really for 1 more month, we try and support her as much as possible to give her the chance to really get a 30-hour a week or even 40-hour a week job. And if a month from now it's looking still like now it's just not happening, then our thoughts of how to help her and intervene would need to transition to something like homeless shelters or whatever, because working 3 hours a week, even if she can do that, she's not going to be able to afford a house here, and then in 2 months she'll be on the street. So yeah. I mean,
I agree. I mean, for me, I was saying from the very first call that we had about this, I was like, well, we need the budget. What's the budget, right? And then eventually, a couple of weeks later, we did get the budget, and we never talked about it since then, because that was the call about the car, and then the budget came a couple days later, and then we got the budget, like, I found it a week after that. So it's $3,000 a month. I mean, minimum $2,500 a month. So for me, anything that's less than that, like less than $2,500, $3,000 a month, is just not really going to solve the problem. And I feel like that budget could be cut here and there. I mean, she was willing to live in a co-op, if she was willing to live in a room in a house, maybe you get it less than reduce the rent, etc. I mean, I don't know who's going to rent to her anyways in relationship to being on a lease, with their current status or current lease status, so she should probably be looking for just like a room. So we could do some searching about what just the cost of a room would be and see if that can reduce the budget a little bit. But the bottom line is that if that's the focus, then, and this is going with, the models and the way that things operate, it's like, zeroing in, focusing on one thing and just trying to put all our effort into what needs to happen. I feel like I agree. It's important to give her options and give her, okay, here's some work. You can do this, you can do that. But it shouldn't take away from the focus, right? Because if she cannot make enough money with us because we literally don't have enough money in the budget to pay her and there's no way to get agreement on it, it's a distraction. from what she needs, which is a full-time job. Because I agree with what David's saying. So I feel like we can help with that. We can help with that in the life support programs. We can help with that with the small amount of money that we can give her. Doing an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours of work a week should not take away her ability to get a full-time job as well. So if there's something that she chooses to do, it's fine. If we all want to support her with that. So I feel like in general, staying focused on the primary objective, which is $2,500 to $3,000 a month, or whatever the budget sets.
Yeah, I don't remember my numbers off the top of the head, but I think my math was.
Can I share the budget actually? That you created. It was so nice.
Let's link it to the notes. We can take a look at it.
There you go.
Do you have it? Can you send it to us? So you want me to try to find it?
Okay. Yeah, right here. Let's see.
Yeah, if you can link it to the notes or email it, and then I'll link it to the notes. I'm on line 240 in topic 0. So in the context,
240. Yeah, pull it up while he talks about it, because where I'm stuck is also that I don't think, like I told David called me pessimistic or very pessimistic the other day, but I think she's lying about some stuff. What about the car and stuff? And like, how serious is it? And I call it tough love as well too, because there's so many people that need help, but I don't know if she has an extra cushion or just the fact, or she just doesn't take us seriously. It's a little offensive, basically at this point to me, but I'm willing to help still.
This budget's not a public document, so I'm not going into it right now. But the bottom line, is I think that between Mel and Alberto are like polar opposites right now in relationship to the Mel's is like, I'm over it, and then Alberto's like, oh my God, we have to help no matter what and no matter how long it takes, right? And then
no, I don't say no matter what. I say she needs to help her if she's producing something valuable to us, but I mean, be very flexible in relation to how we usually operate, right? Because this is life support, right? This is life support. This is very strong. You see, Jay, so this is the evolution that keeps coming. Now, this is a very strong challenge for our life support program. How serious are we on this, right? So all that happened that we went back because we're not ready to launch SVG, and we said, all right, wait, we're not ready to launch SVG. So are we ready to launch life support if we don't give a strong try here? So what I say is that from my point of view, it's unrealistic that Stacy can find anything in such a short period for $3,000, $2,500. All right.
Well, I mean, but any job around here is going to pay that much. It's hard to find a job that doesn't pay that much because that's basically the living wage. Like if you look at the minimum wage in San Jose, which is $17.20 an hour, and you multiply that times 40 hours a week times 4 weeks.
Yeah, but it implies that you stay hired for 1 month.
True.
Because in the United States, you go there in 2 days, they fire you without there's no
just being prompt. So it's like it's getting a job and then keeping a job, right? And
yeah,
if
that's
she
the
can't
problem.
demonstrate it with us,
how long did she have this other job? How long did she have it? I know she lost it. How long did she have it?
I think she kept it for like 7 or 8 days, and
I was going to say 2 weeks, but one paycheck.
And when I heard 8, I was thinking months, and then you're like days.
No. But here's the thing.
Yeah. So Alberto's
let me tell you about that. Her coworker did say, "Hey, she's doing a good job. You should keep her. Cut her some slack." And her boss, who had to let her go, also only had, at least according to her, only had positive things to say about the quality of her work. The issue, as she states, was attendance. One day, she was late back from lunch because her battery had died, and she had to like clean off some corrosion on the battery, the car. The other issue was she slept through her alarm clock, and so was like an hour late one day. And it's like, I have to think, if she had regular car maintenance, that battery wouldn't have happened. If she had a good alarm clock, wouldn't have, like, I'm not willing or, I'm not ready to say that she cannot function and keep a full-time job. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Right. So just a second, going back to the bigger picture, to respond to Alberto. You were talking about this is a very strong challenge for the life support program, and I want to make it very, very clear. And this also goes back to what you were saying earlier about how when we say we want to change the world and we want to transform the world, we want to make the world a better place, that we're extremely serious about that, right? So in terms of the context of the life support program, the purpose of the life support program in relationship to the transformation and the vision and the goals of what we're doing is specifically to prioritize life support for people in need who are community leaders, right? And that in the model of improving the world, if this is technically a type of warfare and slavery, right? Warfare and slavery go hand in hand. So it's like we're looking towards billions of people dying, right? We're looking towards significant sacrifices in trillions of animals dying, right? In the coming decades and in our lifetimes or whatever. So there's a lot of sacrifices being made. So, yes, I'm fine challenging the life support program and helping Stacy, but it's not the purpose of the life support program. The purpose of the life support program, if we really want to change the world, is to find community leaders who are not being supported to do the transformative work that needs to happen and making sure their lives are supported. That's what changes the world, right? So I think it's very important. Yes, life support program does acknowledge people in Stacy's situation and wants to help them, but it's not the primary challenge nor the primary focus of the program in terms of actually achieving our goals and our vision. So I just wanted to mention that. But I do think that we should help Stacy and that we should do everything we can to help her, but we can't.
That is true. That is definitely true, Jay. But as David said, on her work, feedback, and her capabilities, everybody just talked well, right? Me myself, I had a wonderful onboarding session with her, right? She's definitely smart. She definitely understands things, right? So she might be a community leader. She might be. She has the potential to be, maybe.
She wants to help animals for sure.
In the future, right? So so I agree with you, right? So this is a very good point, correct? So what I'm saying is that we should really, especially you guys, talk to her, say, look, Stacy, let's be realistic here. There's no way that you can keep a job for this money in such a short period. So what you have today is the possibility to earn $500, or maybe we can talk about it and see what we can do. But let's say $700, $750 with FQN, where we don't care if your alarm doesn't go. I mean, of course we care, but Stacy, as I said, we would bend a little bit things, right? So let's try. What do you like to do? We have work for everything. Everything that you like to do, we can give you something to do. So let's see. You do it on your own time. If you come to the sessions, good. But I mean, we don't put you pressure on you on obviously prioritizing a schedule if you cannot even attend your own schedule or this kind of thing. So we try to find. We build a how do you say, a dress? No, like a, how do you say, the when the stylists do the fashion stylists do the dress perfectly that fits you, right? That fits to the
it's tailored program for her. You're saying, like, tailored,
yeah,
right?
tailored a tailored thing, work schedule, work thing, work outputs that she needs to deliver every week. She needs to provide, obviously, tracking of the value of the work that she did. She needs to update, but in her own time, without putting her too much pressure about attending or being. And obviously, David, I don't know, guys, you're in California. Tell her to move to Mexico. What can she do in California? She goes to Mexico. She finds a little place for $200 a month, and with $500 in Mexico, you live, like you live. So I don't know what else we can do.
Well, Jay asked me what I think realistically is going to happen is that she's not going to make $3,000 a month, even hold a minimum wage job, and that she's going to be outpriced. She's going to be outpriced out of the region, and she has to find a more affordable place. The Bay Area is one of the most expensive places in the world. So that's not me being pessimistic. It's based on
No, this is definitely realistic. I don't see any way that she can in such a short time become financially independent in San Francisco Bay Area, or I don't know where she lives, but California. I mean, I don't see this, and I don't see her finding any job whatsoever, or she finds
Well, I mean, it's
some
up to her. We'll see if she can
some
figure it
social
out or not.
programs that help people. I don't know. She goes into a
Maybe, or
community.
but we should definitely continue to encourage her to look for jobs. And I mean, even if she has a job for however long it is, it's better than nothing. So I think I agree 100% that she is very, very capable, right? If she's empowered and she gets confidence and she wants to do something and do some work, I feel like there is work that she could easily do for us and at least meet the minimums. And then if she can meet the minimums, then maybe she could go up from there, especially if we can stabilize our budget. So, I think that it should be okay moving forward. I also agree that we should try to help her beyond just the money and see. And I agree with you that obviously, doctors are not particularly helpful all the time, but also humans aren't helpful on themselves, where you get into this mental context where a doctor somehow has authority, which obviously they don't. And so you want to go into a doctor visit the same way you want to go into a lawyer visit, where you have all the power. So you need to be set yourself up for success in relationship to your doctor or your lawyer or whatever, because as soon as you go in there, you have no idea what you want, you have no idea what you're doing, you're giving up all your power to the doctor or to the lawyer, right? So you need to go in with the plan, and you need to get what you need to get from the doctor, from the counselor, from the therapist, and then you bring that into your own planning for your own health, because you're responsible for your own health. No doctor's going to do it for you, So, I don't know. I'm concerned about our food budget being so small. A couple $100 a month is just, I don't know if it's enough,
no, right?
Yeah.
With EBT.
Yeah, it's like 280.
Yeah, it's such a small amount of money to really be eating healthy, nutritious food. And I mean, unless maybe we used to get so much free food from the co-op. I mean, it would be great to find a cooperative place that she could be a part of. We used to have a deal for like $50 a month where you could have unlimited food, healthy, delicious, unlimited food for anybody in the community, right? You would just come and show up for dinner and you'd have food. So, I don't know. I mean, I know there's co-ops around here that they might have meal plans where, as opposed to an actual, because when you're in that situation, you need to eat healthy food. It's like you would have to basically get massive amounts of food. You could also go to we used to get so much free food from like the farmers markets, like after the farmers market and after certain places, they just had so much left over. You just get massive amounts of free food. Anyway, so she had tons and tons of vegetables and all this stuff that she could probably cook her own food, but you're just cooking so long because you're basically cooking from everything from scratch. So if you join some sort of meal plan, that might be cheaper or something, or easier, because then she can actually have food that was ready to eat.
Yeah, I mean, she should definitely start looking for these kind of solutions, because I don't see if she doesn't find some kind of charitable support or these kind of things.
No, we've looked into all that, spent dozens of hours actually. It's just that like all the homeless shelters full basically, or disgusting. And then basically I have a friend with a van. We talked about that, but that makes her cry, and Jay's right, because that makes her homeless. But even living in a car, I wasn't thinking Mexico, but I was thinking like Modesto or something, like a cheaper region about like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from the Bay Area, and then she would have to commute in to make housing affordable. But I mean,
yeah, but in these places in the United States, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, it's really difficult to find jobs.
There's a lot of jobs in the Bay Area, and she would just have to drive in. You know, it's not that difficult. I looked at David spent hours yesterday. I sent her dozens of listings already today. You know, I've sent her a listing for a caretaker, but although David and I are concerned that, like, is she reliable to take care of old people or kids or animals? Actually, you have to show up on time. But basically, that offers free housing in San Jose. She didn't even respond. The thing that bugs me is that, like, you put in time, you're like, here's 4 hours. I worked on your resume. You just do 5 minutes, and she doesn't do it. Or I looked up free housing for her, and she doesn't look into it. You know, we gave her a job, and she doesn't do it. You know, so then, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, let's
Sorry,
let's
a
let's go
therapy
step by
session.
step. Let's try to have this live support session on Saturday, and then I mean, let's talk to her very openly. I mean, she cries if she thinks about the van, but I mean that's where she's headed. I don't know what I'm hearing, so that's where she's headed. So she needs to
And
I don't know. She needs. Yeah. I'm done, Jay. Yeah.
I feel like even if, you know, we know that they're difficult questions, we know that it might that there's no good answer, simply by asking her and really encouraging her to you know, to explain